diamonds in the rough. NFL Draft Diamonds. Time to shine.
Hi, I'm Jimmy Williams with Draft Diamonds, and today I have with me Drew Himmelman, who is an offensive lineman at Ilinois State. How you doing, man?
I'm good, Jimmy. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Describe to the viewers just a little bit about your overall career.
So my career path has been, a little bit different than a normal one. So I came in as a tight end and I gray shirted. So it's basically kind of like a double red shirt because I was only about 230 pounds coming out of high school. So they wanted me to take time to put on more weight. So I showed up in spring 2016 as a tight end, and then I think just a few practices into spring ball, one of our tackles got hurt. So they switched me to tackle early, and then I've been at that position ever since.
Cool. And obviously you had a great year last year. Ended up being first team All-American, first team All-Conference. Drew, I have you at listed at 6'9", 320 pounds, more or less. So that accurate, right? You said?
Yep, the pounds is right, and then 6'9", yeah, and just a little bit of change after that.
6'9" and a quarter or something like
Something
that.
like that.
They'll get you officially measured whenever you get to the
Yeah.
combine or something. Tell me a little bit about what you've been working on since since we've been in the off season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so obviously this off season's been a pretty crazy one. So I was at home, and my dad actually built me a rack in our basement when I was in high school. So I've had pretty normal workouts from that aspect, and I've really been working on my lower body strength just so I can get some more power and explosiveness in that aspect. And then also, I've just been by myself, so I've been working on my footwork, trying to get that to be very consistent, especially in the run game.
Great. And, Drew, you actually have a lot of good teammates there that really help just to the success of your team. Can you just tell me a little bit about one of your teammates that really impresses you?
Yeah, so Romeo McKnight, he's a defensive end. He's a guy that I go up against pretty much every day in practice. And, he's got excellent technique. He's an excellent rusher. But, one thing that really stands out to me about him is his motor. He's got a super high motor. If it's in the middle of fall camp, it's a super hot day out and we're strolling up to one-on-ones, I'm kind of huffing and puffing. And I look over and I see him about to go up against Romeo. I know I got to get it in gear because I have to match his 100% intensity.
Cool. And you were telling me, what is the best part about your game? Can you just tell me a little bit about what you feel is the best thing that you bring to the table?
Yeah. So I feel like, right now, the most polished part of my game is probably my pass protection. I think kind of my height lends itself to that. So I think, a combination of my height and my athleticism kind of make it hard for defenders to get around me on the edge sometimes.
Cool. And have an interesting question for you. So what is worse, getting beat on a play or being penalized when your teammate goes for like a huge gain or even a score? So again, penalized or beat?
Oh, that's a great question. So, I guess in my position, sometimes when you get beat, a guy's coming free on Brady. So, as long as me getting beat doesn't equal him getting hurt, then I think I would rather get beat than give up a penalty on a big play because that's points on the board. So that's a huge swing in the game if you get a penalty on a touchdown.
Great. I like that answer. Tell me about maybe one of the most memorable plays of your career so far.
So I remember when we were playing Indiana State this year. It was a super rainy game. We were going towards the scoreboard. We were about 60, I think 70 yards out or so. And I remember we were focusing on this blitz that they have. We were focusing on it all week because it kind of got us a couple times the year before. And it was a pretty close game. I don't remember what the exact score was, but I think it was the fourth quarter, and we saw them drawing up that blitz. So we were able to identify it, communicate it to all 5 guys, and we executed it perfectly how our coach wanted us to. And we, had a nice hole for James, and he spurted through, made a guy miss, and went for a 70-yard touchdown. So that was a pretty sweet play.
Cool. And tell me, Drew, why do you play football?
Yeah, so I think the thing that I really love about football is obviously the competitive aspect of it. It's hard to find, that competition in the real world. But I think my favorite part is really the locker room part of it and the brotherhood that you get with all your teammates. I think that that's something that is pretty hard to find in other aspects of life. So that's something that I really cherish about football and something that really drives me.
Cool. And last question for you really is just what would be your final pitch to a professional team as to why they should draft you and give you the big bucks? So give me your final pitch to a football team.
Yeah, so off the field, you're not going to have any issues with me. I have great attention to detail, do all the small things right. I'm going to show up early, wear the right stuff, take care of my body off the field. And then on the field, I'm always looking to get better. I don't have an ego, so I'm easy to coach. I take criticism well. I'm always looking for advice and stuff that I can do to improve my game, and I'm always going to be giving 100% out there.
Great. And you were also telling me that you're a pretty good student in general. I mean, you already graduated with a degree in exercise science and a pretty decent GPA. So I think it's great that you're not just an athlete, but you are also a pretty good student there at Ilinois State. Drew, this has been great. Sitting down, talking to you about your journey and your story as an athlete. And I wish you the best moving forward. You are actually one of the top small school athletes, period. Most people have you in their top 5 or 10. You'll certainly get your chance at the next level. I wish you all the best and take it easy.
Awesome. Thank you so much for doing this, Jimmy.
Sure thing.